Joy Reid is an anchor on MSNBC, one that I knew when I was there and even after I left. I liked her a lot. I still like her in person and as a human being. I do not agree with her politics, and I think that some of the things that she has done in accusing Bernie Sanders and Bernie Sanders supporters of things is atrocious. So I want to be clear about that. Now, she is in a bit of a scandal because folks found things that she had written about Charlie Crist back when he was a Republican. She was concerned about his hypocrisy because he was voting against gay rights when he was governor of Florida. And at the time, there were rumors that Charlie Crist was gay, and she jumped on that in a blog that she wrote at the time called The Reid Report. And she said, Miss Charlie, stop pretending, brother. It's okay that you don't go for the ladies. Okay. She went on to say, now that he's married to a girl, Charlie Crist is being sought out for all kinds of good stuff. The GOP are wooing Miss Charlie to run. And then one more that was along those lines at least. I can just see poor Charlie on the honeymoon, ogling the male waiters and thinking to himself, God, do I actually have to see her naked? Now, are some of those comments crossing the line? Yes. So constantly referring to him as Miss Charlie, and Joy now acknowledges way too much. And she did that 17 times. Why did she do it? Is it because she hates members of the LGBT community? I would argue not. So let me give you the context of what she said. She said, when a gay politician gets married, it usually indicates that he's highly ambitious and desires to put himself in a position to move up the power ladder. Now, and she went on to talk about his hypocrisy. I think she was trying to point out the hypocrisy. Now, I don't know what Charlie Crist's sexual orientation is at all. I don't impugn it. I don't know anything about it, okay? And even if you were to think that he was gay, I don't know that doing it that way was productive. In fact, I do know it was not productive. On the other hand, do I think that it is right to call out Republicans who are gay but closeted? Yes, I do. I didn't always. I changed my mind on that issue. There was a documentary that I watched that showed how much different Republicans act after they have been outed. They then turn around and vote for gay rights. Well, that makes a giant, giant difference. And if you are voting against people, and even if you're not gay, but you're voting against gay Americans, well, politically attacking you is perfectly fair game. Now, in this case, she went a little overboard. And have other people done that in the past? I think yes, okay? But is it something where I think she has bad intent? I'm gonna say no. Obviously you could disagree, feel free to disagree, and I'm sure that many will. First, hear her apology. She says, this note is my apology to all who are disappointed by the content of blogs I wrote a decade ago, for which my choice of words and tone have legitimately been criticized. She went on to say that she was insensitive, tone deaf, and dumb. I understand though that. I think that she's being hard on herself, and I think that a lot of people would think justifiably so. But at least tone deaf is fair enough. It was a very long apology. She went on to say, among the frequent subjects of my post was then Governor Charlie Crist, at the time a conservative Republican, whose positions on issues like gay marriage and adoption by same-sex couples in Florida shared headlines with widely rumored reports that he was hiding his sexual orientation. She said, at no time have I intentionally sought to demean or harm the LGBT community, which includes people whom I deeply love. My goal in my ham-handed way was to call out potential hypocrisy. And finally, she said, rereading those old blog posts, I am disappointed in myself. I apologize to those who also are disappointed in me. Life can be humbling, it often is. But I hope that you know where my heart is and that I will always strive to use my words for good. I know better and I will do better. Look, if I thought that she's a Democrat, but she's actually against gay people in America, then I would give her no quarter. And I could be wrong, but I don't believe she is. I believe that she was overzealous in prosecuting the case against Charlie Crist. Have other progressives been overzealous in prosecuting the case against Republicans? From time to time, and I also cut them the same break. Now, it's easy for me to say I'm straight. So if you're a part of the LGBT community and you don't want to cut her a break, that's perfectly understandable. That's your call to make, obviously, right? I'm just giving you my opinion, which is what we do here on this show. Look, I hope that Joy gives the same consideration to people before she goes on to make charges that she has in the past. Keeping it real, she's one of the quickest to call liberals in this country racist or sexist over and over again. So I would not do likewise. I've criticized her significantly for that in the past, and I will continue to do that. But I don't want progressives and liberals making the same mistake. So, and she has now issued an apology, and it is what it is. So it's, to me, I think it's a right-wing tactic to then go demand more and more, and what, demand that she be fired? Again, if that's your true opinion and you're on the left, bless your heart. But as things stand, and with that thorough an apology, in trying to get a Republican to reform his ways, I think that the apology makes sense. So finally, what was the result of all this? Now, it was not just because of Joy Reid, and certainly not because she used offensive terminology like Miss Charlie, but Charlie Crist did switch. He switched to an independent, then to a Democrat, and then went on to issue an apology that is far more important than Joy Reid's apology. He apologized for voting the wrong way on issues of gay rights, including voting against gay marriage. He was wrong, and he said it. He said, "I'm sorry I did that. It was a mistake. I was wrong. Please forgive me." To me, that is the much larger issue. And I think it's a harder apology to accept, given that he voted to take away rights from Americans. LGBT members are 100% American. They should have 100% of the rights as straight Americans. The fact that Charlie Crist denied that for a number of years when he was in power was terrible. Now, I think that he has actually seen the light. I think that his conversion is real into accepting their rights, and he now votes the right way. Again, it's not necessarily my place to accept that apology, but I'm thrilled that he did apologize and change his ways. And to me, that's the much larger story. TYT membership gets you commercial-free Young Turks. Download it, stream it, podcast it, get all the network shows, and support independent media. TYTnetwork.com/join.